Note to self, never give the scout sharp objects unless I want to die. Dude, what was that for?
I broke your stupid crap, moron!
Well, that's it. I'm grateful. Now that I'm done ripping his head off, I can tell you more about my favorite secondary weapon, the flying guillotine. This video is a continuation of my last video, so I recommend you watch that first, but it's not necessary for this video. The flying guillotine is plenty of things. One of those things is one of the 2 weapons located on my channel icon. Huh, that's weird. You're not subscribed yet. You should click on that button to fix that issue. But anyways, the flying guillotine is one of those weapons that a lot of different people have different opinions on. Well, I'm here to clear the air and talk about why I think the flying guillotine is Scout's best secondary weapon. Before we get into hot water talking about why I think it's good, I think it's important to look at the design of this weapon. The flying guillotine is a meat cleaver with the words dead meat written in Chinese on its sides. If you think the flying guillotine is too clean and shiny right now, well, I have some good news for you, friend. You're able to change the style of the flying guillotine. You're able to change the style from thirsty to thirstier, which adds some bloodstains on the flying guillotine's sharp blade. Now, I don't know where the flying guillotine got the blood from, but it definitely wasn't from me. I'm not losing any blood right now. Please, Scout, I am so sorry. I should have never said your mom looked like a naked mole rat. I am so sorry.
Oh, what, you gonna cry? You gonna cry now?
Probably. I'm sorry.
Ooh, you're gonna die now!
No, wait, please! Anyways, while the ambulance is on his way, let me tell you about how this weapon works. The flying guillotine is a projectile-based weapon that takes up your secondary slot. When firing this weapon, the scout throws the flying guillotine in an arc right in front of him. Upon hitting an enemy, you are rewarded by doing a nice clean 50 damage and causing them to bleed for 5 seconds, doing 4 damage every half second. This adds up to doing 90 damage to an enemy who is unfortunate enough to be hit by this weapon. After you throw this weapon, it takes about 6 seconds for this weapon to recharge unless you hit them from a far enough range, then your charge time is reduced by 1.5 seconds. Also, this weapon cannot be fired underwater, so if you're doing 1v1s underneath the 2-fort bridge, or the other 2 spots in the game, don't even try to use this weapon unless you want to end up as a corpse. That's really all this weapon does, so how should you use this weapon? Well, unlike most weapons in this game, the flying guillotine does not have any damage fall off. It does not matter if you are touching the enemy, or if they are way across the map. Wait, no. The wiki says if you throw it from far enough, it just kind of stops midair and drops to the ground. Let's try that again. It does not matter if you are touching the enemy, or if the enemy is kind of far away, but not too far away. You'll always get a flat 50 damage, plus any bleed damage that comes along with that. I found a lot of success with this weapon when charging into a fight and throwing it first. If I have good aim, then the opponent has at least 50 less HP, and depending on which class this is, I'm able to finish them off in a quick shot or 2. If we go back and forth for a few seconds, then they are the ones who are slowly losing health while I'm still applying the pressure. And as soon as they turn their back to go find health, you finish them off with a quick shot from your primary weapon. Another option is if they're going to find health, your cleaver's probably recharged by now, so why not just throw another one at them? The worst you can do is miss. With this weapon, I would say constantly apply pressure in 1v1 situations. Throw the flying guillotine as often as you can, as long as you're at a safe enough distance. This weapon is not good at any kind of close range pressure, but good thing you have some quick burst damage with your primary weapon. Speaking of that, let's look at which primary and melee weapons you should equip if you want to use this weapon. When I would use a scattergun with the cleaver, it would typically be as an approach option. If I'm running at the enemy, I would throw my cleaver, do my 50 base damage, disorient them, and then I'd pump them full of lead once, and they're gone. If I'm trying to get close and intimate with the enemy, throwing the cleaver is always a bad idea. The flying guillotine does not have a huge hitbox, so if their movements become unpredictable from up close, you are more or less going to die. If you're using the babyface's blaster, you're going to be utilizing what is typically known as the speed and bleed type of playstyle. This playstyle relies on hitting your enemy with the cleaver, causing them to bleed, and your boost slowly filling up, enabling you to go faster, hence the name Speed and Bleed. Although it should be changed to Bleed and Speed because you need to make them bleed, then you can do the speed, but whatever. I'd play this the same way you play the scattergun, but just be mindful of your reduced speed making you an easier target until you get your boost meter filled up. I won't say much on the short stop since I'm saving my thoughts on this weapon for when I make the hour-long review of this weapon once I hit 10,000 subscribers, but essentially, I really like using this weapon alongside the flying guillotine. The short stop forces you to play at a medium range, which is where the guillotine excels at, so using these 2 weapons in tandem to apply constant force to your opponent is my favorite way to play the class, and with these 2 weapons. Following that, the Force of Nature is also super fun, but for the exact opposite reason. This is the only primary weapon where I would say to wait to throw your cleaver until after you've used your clip. If you can get up close and launch your enemy back, you are able to use the cleaver to clean up any stragglers that your 2 shots might not be able to put in their place. Kinda like the scout hasn't been able to put me in my place yet. Uh-oh.
Say goodbye to your kneecaps, chucklehead.
No, not my kneecaps. Can I at least finish the video first, please?
For sure.
Thank you. Now let's get back to work. Anyways, the final two weapons are the soda popper and the backscatter. I don't play with them that often, but in my experience, the soda popper should be used in conjunction with the cleaver to either use the cleaver to escape while jumping around with the soda popper, or you should throw that cleaver and the split second it connects, pop them with 2 soda popper shots. Also, in my last video, some viewers left comments on how this weapon is good with the Rap Assassin due to its bleed effect, so the same applies here as well. Use that bleed to build up hype, then fly around your enemy like an annoying fly that you just can't seem to kill no matter how hard you try. That kinda rhymed. With the backscatter, it's kinda the same problem that we tackled in the Rap Assassin video. The backscatter is kinda seen as this weapon that rewards you for good positioning and flanking. As soon as you hit them with the flying guillotine, they're just going to turn around and you're going to get caught out of position and die if you're not careful. Long story short, this is my personal ranking for which primary weapon works best if you want to use the flying guillotine. Now that you got your primary weapon, let's figure out which melee you want to use. Scout has a lot of great options when it comes to his melee weapons, but there are only a couple ones I would consider if you want to use it in conjunction with the flying guillotine. First, the atomizer. The extra jump can help you get a better vantage point for the cleaver if you plan on launching that into battle before charging in it behind it. I don't use the atomizer, but I would definitely pick it over something like the Sun on a Stick or the Fan of War. The candy cane is also just a really convenient weapon in general. You sacrifice taking more damage from rockets and stickies in order to gain some health back upon killing an enemy with any weapon. I would not say they necessarily work in conjunction with each other, but the candy cane just really complements any of the weapons that the Scout has in his arsenal. The Sandman is one of the weapons that works well with the guillotine, but also has some huge drawbacks. The 15 less health really hurts when you are trying to use the guillotine to hit an enemy and follow it up with a kill from a shorter range, but it does have the ability to launch a baseball and the flying guillotine on your enemies congruent with each other. If only there was a weapon that did this, but did not make you lose 15 health. You know that scene from Elf where Buddy's hurling snowballs at the bullies? That's what it feels like when you use the Rap Assassin and the flying guillotine together with their quick recharge times. If you don't know that movie, then, buddy, let me tell you, you missed out on one of the Will Ferrell movies of all time. The Rap Assassin matches the flying guillotine perfectly with them both causing bleed on hit. If you run into a fight launching both these first, heck, you may not even need to fire your weapon. Sit back, relax, and let the bleed damage take care of your enemy themselves. Basically, I don't like these, indifferent on these, like these, and love this. Okay, so I've spent a lot of time in this video praising this weapon, but let me tell you a secret. It does have some drawbacks. Shocking, I know. One of the biggest drawbacks is that you lose access to the pistols, which can arguably be easier to secure kills with. You lose access to the Mad Milk, which can help you assist teammates in staying alive, or you lose access to the drinks, which can help you secure kills easier or help you stay alive longer. I know I basically just said that by picking one weapon means you can't pick any of the other ones, but most of them are really useful alongside the Scout's kit. Also, I've seen that the arc and speed can take a while to get used to when playing with this weapon. Honestly, I can't really dispute any of these flaws, but have you played with the guillotine before? And I mean like, really played with it. Because yeah, it can be kind of hard to hit an enemy, but when you do and you're rewarded with that sweet cleaver colliding with an enemy fleshy skin sound, whoo! You get filled with this rush of dopamine that makes you feel like you're the king of the world. Then you rush in, get the kill, and you feel like a god. In my experience, I've just really enjoyed playing with this weapon, and I hope I've made a compelling case so you can try and learn to enjoy the flying guillotine as well. Now, if you excuse me, I gotta try and take away that knife from the Scout before he kills me again.
I am owning you, you fat, bald, fatty, fat.
Bro, not bald or fat. How about this? We drop this whole feud, and we shake on it, we make up, we be friends again. What do you think?
Deal.
Alright, perfect. Sounds like a deal to me, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, join the Discord, do whatever you want. Thanks for watching this whole 2-part video series if you did, and if you haven't watched the other video, because it's pretty great too. Have a great day, everyone. Peace.